Go.
Hi, welcome back to Academic Markets Insight. We're just teasing that I'm very excited for today's session. We are going to be looking at manipulating weather for profits. And if you're thinking, what? I'm also thinking, what? I can't wait to get into this video weather manipulation. So, Dr. Rowe, what are we talking about today?
Well, not necessarily weather manipulation. Although, as you said that, I sat here and thought, maybe we could seed some clouds and make the rainfall different if we were betting on rainfall. But the what actually happened, and it's been across the board on the news today. About a week ago, and we're talking on April 24th, but about a week ago, on Polymarket, somebody was speculating on the high temperature in various cities, and what they ended up profiting on, etc., might be different. That you're hearing different stories from different people. So one place I've heard that they placed a bet that the temperature would reach 22 Celsius. I heard another place that all they were looking for was above 18, which when we look at the charts in just a second will make a lot more sense. And the rumor, and it's we don't know if this is true as well, but the rumor is somebody walked up to a temperature gauge in Paris, the one that they use to determine the poly market for the high for the day, and guess what time they may have blown the hair dryer on the temperature gauge? Take a stab.
I'm guessing 11 p.m.
Yeah, well, it actually was around 9:30. That 11 doesn't quite line up with
Okay.
that. But I've read in another place that what they were really shooting for was a temperature above 18, and it flattened out at 18. And then when it started to go down, I have a funny feeling they like panicked right here, and they grabbed whatever device they used and ran to the temperature gauge and did that.
Well, and hair dryers get very hot, so I'm not
Yeah.
surprised that they were able to get it above 22.
Well, I mean, I probably would have set it on low and shot for 19 if I just
Sure.
needed to go back 18, but I don't really know how you handle that. Now, how do they know that? I mean, beyond not looking right, how do they know this? Now, there is a fake AI video of some dude running up to a weather station and blowing the hairdryer. I don't think that's actually a video of this guy doing it. But the market that they would settle these daily prediction market bets on the temperature in Paris. It's the temperature gauge at Charles de Gaulle Airport, and we know this from living in Chicago, and even in the Indianapolis area, they've got temperature gauges all over the place.
Hmm.
So apparently, this is one of the ways that they figured out somebody was messing with a gauge. That bottom one is the closest gauge to the nearby weather station is not.
It's showing something different.
Yeah, it has a little bit different pattern there. Um,
Wow.
so yeah, it's
I mean,
just it's
it's
that's
just so
pretty comical.
clear. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's pretty comical. Now, the reason that they got caught, and I'll tell and there was one questionable trade that cost about 120 bucks that um made about over 21,000. And there's all kinds of speculation about who got lucky and who actually knew something. This $120 trade apparently was put in just before the spike. So
so the timing.
yeah, the timing matches up with, if I don't know how well my pointer is showing up, but apparently, I think right when it ticked lower, they bet and then they ran down to the temperature gauge.
Wow.
Now, the reason that we know this is they did it twice. They did almost the exact same thing back on April 6th. I've always told my kids, half joking, half true, you can get away with anything once. And this literally, we talk about behavioral finance a lot here. This is greed.
Yeah,
Hey, we got away with it on April 6th. Let's do it again on April 15th. Now they're going to find you. You
right.
know, I mean, they haven't yet, but I assume if we choose to do a follow-up video, it'll be on them actually catching the people that went about doing this. I mentioned there's that AI generated photo. There's also a theory that they may have used a lighter on this as opposed to it, which would make more sense.
It,
The AI video actually has a guy picking up a hairdryer and the cord's hanging out of it. So
yeah.
that's one of the reasons I think it's kind of fake. But there is a theory they may have used a lighter as well. Here's what the two entities that really care about this have done, and I think it's funny because they basically offset each other. Polymarket is using a different weather station in Paris now for their betting market, which makes sense. And the folks in Paris have now put a guard on that weather station.
So,
I know, I know, I know. So maybe they should work together on that. This is a comical example of some of the things that are going on in Polymarket right now. There's also a news story out there that someone with special ops bet on the Maduro thing and made a big amount of money. I think we've joked on here about the guy that bet somebody would run on the field at the Super Bowl and then did it.
yeah.
Yeah. So I do, taking a very comical situation here and boiling it down to reality, there's going to have to be some regulation around these things. There's just going to
Right.
have to be. I feel like I know Kalshi better than Polymarket. I think Polymarket might be more liberal and might be domiciled outside the U.S. I hate to sit here and talk about something I'm not 100% certain of, but I do think that Polymarket has a lot more opportunities to trade in things that maybe you can influence. I can't imagine anybody. I never would have guessed somebody would have been able to influence the temperature.
The weather.
Yeah, and I really thought if anybody wanted to you know try and take advantage of something like this, and that my daughter that goes to Purdue is majoring in meteorology, and she and I had a discussion around this, and we were trying to figure out how much would it cost to seed clouds and have rainfall in a place that everybody was betting there was going to be no rainfall,
Right.
or even beyond that, and that would be kind of sketchy. But in a non-sketchy way, my understanding is the National Weather Service, due to funding cuts, uh, Emerson has told me that they only launched one weather balloon a day. So our weather forecasts have become more volatile as well. We talked about what would it cost to have your own weather balloon somewhere and maybe get an information edge. And I think that would be kind of a legal way to go about trying to, because the way you make money in the markets is you have a prediction that's different
Better.
than the consensus. And
Yeah.
you can manipulate it away from the consensus, but there are probably some things that you could do to try to gather information and have an information.
Plus, if you got your own weather balloon, it'd just be awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
She said each launch is like $200.
I
We're
mean,
not talking about a lot of money here.
it would just be really cool. I
Yeah,
mean, running these experiments in your backyard. Well, let's just find out.
yeah. No, it'd be kind of neat. So, with all of that, we shall watch how this story plays out. We'll continue to pay attention to the prediction markets like everybody else. But you can take us home.
And with that, we thank everybody for joining us. Thank you, Dr. Rowe, for bringing this to our attention. It was super fun. If you enjoyed this video, please hit like. And if you're not already a subscriber, please subscribe. Thank you.